processing time. Today is April 9th. So my ex and I were communicating, and it was healthy for me, because I'll just keep it in the eye. For me, it was a healthy communication to have, to process, to share information, to kind of help maybe each other heal. And for, a few days it was good. And then over time it became not okay for me, because I was treated with disrespect, in my opinion. Perhaps saw a pattern of communication. And when I stood up for myself and started to have boundaries and said, you're not going to treat me this way, and you're not going to talk to me like this, and if this continues, we're done, communicating. And then I thought about it, because obviously it was bringing up a lot of different emotions. And I'm like, you know what? I don't have to wait and see if she's going to be good, or obviously it was arising something within me that this is not healthy for me to be in this way, because when, I'm not going to blast her personal information and what was texted, and that just would be rude. But there's certain things I think that are appropriate to say, and certain things that are not. Even though, understanding there was a level of difference in the type of love that was felt. I mean, there's deep love on my end to care and concern, but not romantic. That's not interested. I mean, I had that for years, and I'm done. No disrespect. She deserves the world and deserves complete happiness, not with me in a romantic sense whatsoever. So when I texted that perhaps, I'll communicate, I'm done, and need some time. Then it was, it responded back that the communication, the relationship is not healthy for her. And in so many words. And then all of a sudden, because I'll be traveling to where my family is, and I'll see you in this particular month. And it's like, no, you won't, because we're cutting ties. Wish you well to heal on your journey. And what's done with that? The number's been blocked. I'm done. I'm fucking done. I was done when I asked for the divorce in August, and thought maybe some time had August of 24, and when some time elapsed, that it would both be a healing conversation, because many different reasons, and it proved to be helpful for me, but no more, because when there's phrases of I'll just leave it at that. So when there's different levels of communication, it's not appropriate to send certain things to your ex-spouse, in my opinion, when it's a platonic friendship trying to be renewed as a friendship. And also her not seeming to have my best interest at heart with the communication that was received over the last couple of days. So for me to have boundaries is unhealthy for her, is the communication I interpreted. So no, you won't see me when I travel. And thank you for showing me that perhaps a friendship is not something that ever can be had between us. Or perhaps more time needs to be, given for healing, especially on her end, because I'm fine with a platonic friendship, but I'm not going to put up with behavior that is inappropriate for me to receive, and also behavior that is accusatory, and not met with compassionate understanding. I don't have time for that, especially after she knows what I've been through these months. So to have that level of misconception, I don't know, it's not healthy for me. So yeah, I'm standing up for myself, and I'm so fucking proud of myself, because this is, to have it to the degree that I have it now, is I think the most I've ever had in my life. And somebody the other day, when I was with them, kind of placed some boundaries, and I'm like, that's kind of hot. In a sense, I like that. I like people who know themselves, that they know what they're comfortable with, not comfortable with, and they're okay with speaking their mind in a loving manner, not being a dick or an asshole, right? So yeah, I'm happy with my boundaries, and obviously this is life unfolding. This is me kind of processing a little bit in the moment, but just mostly reflecting on what happened. So yeah, I think the communication lasted 2 weeks, maybe a little bit more than that. I don't know. And then for me, releasing what if something were to happen? Because in my life, there have been numerous, don't even want to think about counting them, but it's probably more than a couple of times where people have left this earth, and there's been things unsaid, unfinished business, if you will. And that's why I don't like to close doors and close my heart, but there has to be some level of boundary and self-respect for me, which I'm learning that if somebody chooses to do an action that is completely out of my control, by the way, then that's on them, and whatever the end result of that would be is completely on them. Still a bit of a heaviness to carry. It may take a day or two to process and release. Thought about reaching out to mutual friends, but this is not my responsibility anymore. We're divorced, completely not tied to each other. Tried to have a friendship, didn't work. There's other people in and around my life who I feel perhaps are friendships worthy of being cultivated, and starting over-ish, that actually have shown me a lot more lately than repeating old habits and behaviors and patterns. So with that, I'm excited for my life and what's unfolding. I don't know. The energy has been off the fucking charts. So I'm going to shift my energy. Nikki is almost here. I'm like so excited. I want to cry. I'm so excited. And I'm like, I'm not going to allow this communication to like fuck up my trip with Nikki. Like, why would I do that? No, I'm not perpetuating old behaviors and patterns, because I am a completely different person than I was a couple months ago versus like 6-7 months ago. Like, there's no comparison. So I'm going to love myself completely and wholly and do whatever it takes to protect my energy and light. And I encourage you to do the same, because without yourself and without that self-love, well, my experience has been, it's like, it's me and then it's everything else. Everything falls into place beautifully. So if you are struggling with something, hang the fuck on, because I promise you things will shift. You are worthy of love at the highest degree. And first and foremost, give that love to yourself, because you are worthy, and I fucking love you.